Aurra Sing was regarded as one of the deadliest killers of her time, a claim substantiated with the blood of many Jedi. She's been stated to be a master of 4 different fighting disciplines, one of which is Ataru. The 4th form of classical lightsaber combat, Ataru was specifically designed for a being to reap all the benefits afforded to them by their physiologies. This included flamboyant blade work, acrobatic maneuvers and evasions, the incorporation of physical strikes in unarmed combat, and training in dual blade fencing, almost all of which were incorporated into Aurra Sing's fighting style. This is even more impressive when you remember that she was only 9 when her Jedi training ended, meaning she completed training in this form by herself. Her second and final confirmed martial art is the aggressive Nogri Stava. It consists of quick close-quarter jabs, powerful kicks, punches, and grapples, and ground-level maneuvering, seeming to favor such techniques more than her Ataru acrobatics. Breaking from Ataru's style, her blade work was straightforward and strength-oriented, attempting to overwhelm her opponent as much with power as with speed.
She also had no difficulty with blast deflection.
She has defeated the likes of Jamichael, Asajj Ventress, Jax Paven, and most notably, the famed duelist Sherrod Head, as well as the skilled duo Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn simultaneously. Now, at this time, I should expand on Sing's confrontation with Aayla Secura, which she lost. While some would attribute this to Sing's incapability, it was actually due to other factors. Aayla pointed out many similarities between their paths and that they aren't that different and choices and blah 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 blah. The point is, it was a plot device, and Aayla defeating Aurra was symbolic of her defeating what she could have become. A story-driven decision accentuated by in-story circumstances as well. The perceived death of her former master filled Aurra with an intense bloodlust near the battle's start, and Ayla's verbal probing into Sing's psyche only pushed her further over the edge. This was particularly bad for Aurra because she is at her best when she is able to fight smarter, not harder. Going off that tangent, Sing also incorporated a number of surprise tactics in her style as well, the most well-known being the sudden use of a second lightsaber. Charging her opponent, she would attack with an overhead downward strike, and then bring out her second blade to strike at her opponent's exposed area, a tactic she successfully used against Jamichael, and very nearly killed Qui-Gon Jinn with. Yeah, you know Qui-Gon. And Obi-Wan? Those two that were able to stalemate Darth Maul? Aurra Sing absolutely dominated those two in their battle. It was her best battlefield demonstration of her ability to culminate all of her available techniques as the situation demanded. But her skill was hardly insurmountable. She's been cut in duels on several occasions and was completely unable to overcome Jacen Solo in their confrontation, despite the fact that he was both preoccupied with deactivating a thermal detonator and trying to keep Sing away from his daughter Alana during the entirety of their short bout. Furthermore, her sword guard has been penetrated by the blaster fire of the Grey Paladin Larenth Tarek on one occasion. After all, the only reason we can see how resilient she is because she allows herself to get hit. Moving to her other skills, she is an excellent markswoman, being able to penetrate the defenses of a talented, albeit undertrained, Shien user, and she has used blasters alongside her lightsaber on 2 separate occasions. To put it simply, Aurra Sing utilizes a highly versatile, personalized fighting style that allows her to meet the demands of the moment, or take the initiative firsthand. The problem is that her pure skill is relatively low level, so she spreads out her techniques to compensate for this. And most of her more notable showings were the result of her using an unexpected martial tactic, or by utilizing different means altogether. Asajj Ventress was one of the deadliest Darksiders of her time, facing the likes of Luminara Unduli, Kit Fisto, Anakin Skywalker, and even the mighty Mace Windu. Like her opponent, Ventress was also a master of Form 4 Ataru, utilizing all of its aspects freely, with a heavy emphasis on Jar-Kai dual-blade fencing. Under Dooku's instruction, she was also educated in Form 2 Makashi. Makashi is a precision-based, dual-centric form similar to fencing, but unlike specializing in it like Dooku, or making a proper Ataru Makashi hybrid like Shakti, it was meant more to give control to her previously reckless fighting style.
Compensating for the deficiencies of both styles, Ventress was excellent at blast deflection, and was able to combat more than one opponent, engaging up to 3 Jedi simultaneously, and combating the duo Anakin and Obi-Wan on several occasions.
She also received training in the use of a saber staff, wielding it effectively in live combat. Her battlefield application was textbook Ataru, using fast-paced blade work and acrobatic maneuvering to outpace and overwhelm her opponent. She's proven to be Luminara's superior in battle, and although some have credited her with defeating Sora Bulk, it's important to remember that they were secretly in league with each other when this duel took place, and it is most likely that Bulk allowed himself to receive a non-fatal injury to assuage suspicion from himself. Similarly, some have credited her with the defeat of Jedi Council member Kit Fisto. And while this is nevertheless an impressive showing to her skill, there was also some circumstance to this fight as well. She had the opportunity to observe his fighting style intently before their engagement, and from there we don't really know what exactly happened or why. All we know is that by the end of their confrontation, Kit Fisto had an injury to the arm, and opted to flee rather than fight through it. While this is still an impressive showing, it needs to be taken with a grain of salt. But one bout that was indisputable was her confrontation with Mace Windu. Though she was defeated in a timely fashion, according to the official Star Wars fact file, Windu had to use all of his skill in order to defeat her. But her skill was nevertheless surpassable. She was outclassed by the likes of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Plo Koon, who was able to out-finesse and disarm her of one of her lightsabers, despite the fact that he was a primarily strength-based fighter who entered their confrontation with a broken arm. Likewise, while she was able to hold her own against Count Dooku, all she could hope to do was hold off her own defeat. Furthermore, her over-specialization in dual-blade fencing led to the incapability to adequately continue a duel when disarmed of one of her lightsabers. A prime example of this is when she entered a fight against Savage Opress with only one saber, and was quickly disarmed, thrown around like a rag doll, and chased around the room. All against an opponent she honestly would have been able to beat had she had 2 lightsabers. She also demonstrated difficulty in immediately overcoming even competent duelists such as Ahsoka Tano. And she was able to beat General Grievous on one occasion, but it was TCW Grievous, so make of that what you will. Ventress was gifted with the incredible ability to push every duelist of her time to the extent of their abilities, save for 2. But she herself had not elevated her skills to be ranked amongst the true great swordspeople of her time. This is pretty easy to call. While both were revered for their swordsmanship, Ventress simply dominates this round. Unlike Singh, she is fully capable of outfencing opponents outright, and anyone who can give grief to Dooku and Mace Windu will not go down easy. Singh simply relied too much on other things to achieve victory, while Ventress did not. With absolutely no doubt, I give Asajj Ventress the comfortable edge for her dueling abilities.